Simone Biles and Sunisa Lee cuddled together. Gazing up at her spouse, Jonathan Owens, in the bleachers, she gazed, engrossed with the present. And perhaps a little crazy. The Olympic all-around finalist from the United States, Rebeca Andrade of Brazil, and Kaylia Nemour of Algeria were leading her through the first two rounds of the competition on Thursday. Following a careless, uneventful bar that had an error that Biles can never recall making during competition, she tried to focus by sitting in a chair, closing her eyes, and ignoring the plethora of cameras around her. She attempted to perform the math with Lee. To what extent was it bad? They were unsure. It had not been this tight in a very long time. When Biles checked in with Owens, despite finishing in third place, Owens assured her that everything was well. It's possible that his 15-month wife didn't believe him at the time. Biles remarked, "I've just never been so stressed before." Perhaps because she hadn't been pushed like Andrade did inside the electrifying Bercy arena in a very long time. But after a while, the anxiety subsided. The 27-year-old started to work, redefining the limits of what a gymnast can accomplish and how long she can perform it. After a meek beam routine and a floor exercise that defies all previous records in her discipline, Biles found herself collecting a gold medal from IOC President Thomas Bach a second time, with Lee taking bronze in her wake. In Rio de Janeiro 8 years ago, Biles was a youthful prodigy. She's a symbol now. Even when she isn't flawless, she still stands apart from the others. Currently, Biles has 9 Olympic medals, 6 of which are gold. Even while she claims not to, she actually kind of does keep track of these things. Despite her insistence that she is merely Simone Biles from Spring, Texas that loves to flip, the goat necklace she wore in the aftermath is no accident. Perhaps, but she's also the third woman in history to win 2 gold medals in the Olympics, after Soviet Larisa Latinina in 1956 and 1960, and Czechoslovakian Vera Kaslavska in 1964 and 1968. Oh, and the oldest person to place first on the all-around platform since Soviet Union's Maria Gorokovskaya, who was 30 at the time, captured the inaugural Olympic all-around in Helsinki in 1952. Back then, the sport was not what it is now. Gone are the days of little girls in pretty boxes. One performance at a time, Biles has driven that change. Stars like Kendall Jenner and the U.S. men's basketball team come to watch her on Thursday for a purpose. Biles attempted to minimize her influence, but Lee corrected her. Lee remarked, "Sincerely, Simone, I think a lot of it has to do with you." Even if she didn't get her 39th world or Olympic medal as easily as most of the 38 that came before it. The poorest of her 4 events was a transition on uneven bars, when she miscalculated it and let go of the top bar too soon, causing her to reach for a larger-than-expected gap. Even though Biles fought her way back into the routine and didn't fall, it sapped her momentum and resulted in significant deductions, which caused her to lag behind Andrade for 2 circles. The shortfall was closed, with her somewhat easier set dropping her down to second going into Biles's hallmark event, the floor exercise. Andrade was forced to perform a big balance check. Biles answered with a mostly wobble-free 14.566 on the balancing beam, the highest of the night among the 24 finalists. Andrade, who finished second to Lee in the 2021 competition, required her finest floor set to catch Biles. It was not nearly the case. At one point, Andrade went out of bounds, which was a small issue but gave Biles a lot of leeway. Biles declared, "I don't want to compete with Rebeca anymore. I'm worn out. She's just too near, really. I've never had a close athlete before." The opening lines of Taylor Swift's famous song, "Ready for It," opened Biles's current routine, a 75-second sequence that included the hardest tumbling performed by a woman in the history of the sport. Biles also used music from pop idols Beyoncé and Taylor Swift. After winning gold, which felt like a kind of atonement for her decision to skip several finals in Tokyo in order to concentrate on her mental health, Biles dashed to embrace Lee as soon as she exited the podium and blew kisses to the cameras, which have become a constant wherever she walks under the Olympic rings. Olympic winners Biles and Lee ran onto the floor and waved an American flag when the final score was revealed. Since Comaneci in 1976 and 1980, Lee, the Tokyo champion with Biles out, is the first person to win gold in the all-around at one Games and then take home another medal in the following. Despite facing many renal problems for the most of the past 15 months, which cast serious doubt on her ability to compete in the Games, she managed to succeed. Lee remarked, "I didn't think that I could, so I just wanted to prove to myself that I could." Biles is in 3 event finals later in the Games, so there may be more gold in store, but her all-around performance puts her in the running to be the best American Olympian of all time.